How's everybody doing on this fine day? Mark will be here in a little bit. He's busy getting some therapy done to his hip because we're old. No other reason. But today was an amazing ass day. For those of you that live under a rock or don't keep track of politics the way we do, Kash Patel was confirmed as the director of the FBI. Now, the reason why I think this is awesome is, one, I believe we will have actual justice in our society on a federal level, whereas in the last several years, it was pretty wild watching the FBI, designate soccer moms as domestic terrorists for not wanting to let porn be listed off as a book in their schools. It was so wild. Like, it's like people totally forget how 2021 and 2022 were, like even 2020. Like, people totally forget how fucking completely bullshit ass bonkers motherfucking insane people were, especially on the left. It's wild, like wild, like how fucking crazy shit was and how people just want to look past it. Like, there should be not a Democrat fucking elected again after 2021 and 2022. Never. Does anyone, like, the audacity for people to even say they would have voted for Biden if Biden would have stayed, and to vote for Kamala in general when their regime literally almost made it illegal to speak against them. There is, like, that motherfucker, that geriatric piece of shit. Does everybody remember when he was saying how they're losing their patience with the unvaccinated? Does everybody remember that shit? Because that shit is fucking crazy. Hang on a second. I love this. Alan, do you laugh at people who had no problem with 2020's lockdowns and mandates now complaining about the tyrant Trump? It's hilarious. It is hilarious. And I agree. Completely, 100%. Yeah, we're losing our patience with this bullshit. So I have been going over, and somebody just asked, when does Kash release a list? I hope today. Like, I mean, I was told day one, like, I want justice. It is disgusting to me. We have somebody sitting in jail right now for selling children to people, and the people that she sold children to are being protected by our fucking government. That's disgusting. It makes me feel filthy. And then when you realize that the government was probably funding it because through USAID or wherever the fuck it is, it makes it even goddamn worse. It's so gross. Like, just absolutely grossing me out. But does everybody remember how this was a couple of years ago? Like 5 years ago on March 13th is when I posted about COVID. Like everybody, hey, don't, they are fucking, don't give up your freedom no matter how bad the cold is. But people did anyway. Because people, like, all of you guys have been convinced, not you guys, but all the people out there had been convinced to that the greater good. Let me tell you something. There is no greater good that comes from giving up constitutional freedoms. None. Zero. No greater good can possibly arise out of giving up constitutional freedoms. It is not a real thing. It's unbelievably ridiculous to think that, like, oh, for the greater good, I need to give up my guns. Shut the fuck up. For the greater good, we can't allow people to say mean things online. No mean tweets. Shut the fuck up, you pussy ass bitches. Here's the problem. We allowed the people that should have been shoved in lockers their entire fucking youth to start running the fucking show. And somebody has to come flying solo. Mark will be here in a little while. Like I said, he had to get his hip worked on because we're geriatrics. Just saying, it's wild that we're old motherfuckers. Like, but in reality, we're the old ones. But yet we're still, like, everybody still always says shit about, like, steroids, all that bullshit. Anyway, but somebody asked me if I'm more excited for RFK or more excited for Kash. I'm more excited for RFK because Kash, I mean, we basically know who's on this fucking list. Tom Hanks, most of fucking Hollywood. Well, the Obamas are on that fucking list. Like, all that shit. Trust, they're on it. It's going to rewrite how we view shit. There's going to be mass denial. It's going to be fucking stupid. But if you're wondering who I'm more excited about, I will show you who I'm more excited about and why. Give me 1 second. This is why, right here, coming up. This is from Tucker Carlson News. It says, breaking. Robert F. Kennedy wants to ban all pharma ads from TV. Does anybody have any idea what that would actually fucking do? Like, this was my point from the whole beginning. This is why they opposed him so much. Just in case everybody doesn't understand this. The reason why they opposed him so much is because if he shuts off pharmaceutical ads on TV and on social media and shit like that, narrative control is gone. Like, the deep state had built this humongous, like huge narrative apparatus where they could control every voice about something. They could parade around their experts who were wrong the whole fucking time. Look at COVID. Peter Hotez is viewed as a fucking expert. He's wrong about every motherfucking thing. About COVID, he was wrong about every fucking thing. And you know how I know that he knows he was wrong, that he's a bullshit liar? He's a fat, sloppy fuck. Peter Hotez is a sloppy fat man. If you believe COVID was a world killer that had a high-risk group predominantly of elderly people and fat people, you wouldn't be an elderly fat person like Peter Hotez is. He's a fat, sloppy fuck. If he was actually concerned about COVID, he would have lost fucking weight. I mean, it's so clear that he was just lying his fucking ass off. And by the way, Peter, if you're listening or anybody that gives you this, I would debate you live in front of anybody with the fucking just topic, with the knowledge on the top of my head, and I would destroy your entire motherfucking career. Bet on it. But they were able to parade this motherfucker around like he knew what the fuck he was talking about. They were able to repeat the words, if you get it, you're 100% safe. If you get it, you can't, everybody around you is safe. They lied, openly fucking lied about the transmission of the virus, or about the transmission of the virus after the fucking, after you would get the shot. They lied about it, period. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. They lied about, like, oh, here we go. Better yet, let's listen to the fucking gremlins themselves, shall we? Here we go. I'm sure you recognize these two fucking evil-ass people. Listen up.
You should care, because if you get infected and you're not vaccinated, there is a chance, maybe a likelihood, that you will be part of the dynamics of the continuation of the chain of transmission. Namely, you will,
in other words, nature,
inadvertently or innocently transmit it to someone else who will then,
just like every other communicable disease in the history of fucking forever. Does everybody understand that? Like, if you get this, you might transmit it to somebody else. How the fuck does, like, there's no way to stop an endemic virus. It's not going to fucking happen. Ever. And he knew it. This motherfucker knew it.
then transmit it to someone else. And I don't think anyone would intentionally want to be part of the transmission chain.
I'm not intentionally part of the transmission chain, but you little fucking piece of shit human being, I don't give a fuck. If you are afraid of catching a cold, you should work on you. Because I'm not afraid of catching a cold. I just get more natural immunity from it. I don't give a fuck. I might cough for a day or two. For what the fuck? Be healthy. Work on your fitness. Work on your actual health. It's the concept that you need a vaccine to be safe from communicable diseases is ridiculous, because the best vaccine is you being a healthy motherfucker. I say it all the time. That is sick care. Health care is working out, going to the gym, going for walks, getting sunlight, being properly hydrated, intelligent supplementation so you don't have any micro or macronutrient holes, eating whole foods, eating a mostly meat diet. That is health care. What he does is sick care.
You want to be a dead end to the virus. So when the virus gets to you, you stop it. You don't allow it to use you as the stepping stone to the next person.
But they knew, by the way, that's not what the vaccine does. That's not, I'm sorry. That's not what the gene therapy does. The gene therapy does not stop it. It doesn't stop transmission. It doesn't. It prevents symptoms. And by the way, that means it's a leaky vaccine, and leaky vaccines, they make it evolutionary advantageous for the virus to mutate into different variants. Remember when they were trying to say that, oh, the unvaccinated people are causing all these variants? How the fuck can anybody that knows anything about anything think that's a real goddamn thing? Why would the virus mutate if it can get to me, infect me, make me sick, and then I get over it? Why the fuck would it mutate? Because if all of a sudden it can't make you, if it can't get you sick, if it can't do anything like that, it will find a way to mutate. It's the evolutionary process. And we have known forever that leaky vaccines that just treat symptoms but still allow transmission and still allow infection cause variants. And they tried to wipe that out. Remember when this motherfucker was acting like a natural immunity wasn't a fucking thing? People forget.
So those are the things that we ask people to consider, not only your own health, but your societal responsibility.
We only knew if those vaccines protected against severe disease and hospitalization. We didn't study silent infection. People were not tested without symptoms on those trials. I don't know how it got translated that these vaccines would protect people from infection. It was wrong then. It is wrong now. It's potential that you can make a vaccine better than natural infection, but it's very hard to do.
So in other words, they lied. They lied their asses off, as they always motherfucking do. But I want to point out some things, right? There's a lot of people that are really, 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 really upset at Trump right now. Because like, oh my God, he's firing tons of people from the federal government. It's not funny when you lose your job. It's not funny when you lose your job. Well, give me 1 second. Everybody remember this?
Die on this hill. Just on one executive order, there's been an estimated 53,000 jobs lost. The Associated Press even said that this executive order would not have the positive change on the markets that they were going for. The Heritage Foundation said that the attempt to make things better through this executive order would be virtually undetectable. So was it worth it? Was it worth it to vote for him? His first day in office, was it worth it for Joe Biden to shut down the Keystone Pipeline?
Come on now. Nobody remembers that? Nobody remembers that when Joe Biden closed down the Keystone Pipeline on day one? And a bunch of non-government employees, people, the regular people, not the people that are paid for by the people, people's jobs. He reached into the private market and canceled 50-some thousand jobs on day one. Everybody remember that? But no, oh no. No, it was more than 12,000 because then it goes out too. But holy fuck. So we forget about all that shit, right? We forget about all that. I got a few other videos I wanted to play. We could go over.
Problem is simpler. We actually need to start thinking about physical inactivity as a disease. We now know that it carries the same mortality risk as smoking, cardiovascular disease, and type 2 diabetes. Yet, when the average American reaches age 50, they lose about 10% of their peak muscle mass. By the time they reach age 70, they're losing about 40% of their peak muscle mass. And this isn't just about looking strong, it's about physical independence, it's about survival. So Higher muscle mass is associated with a 30% lower all-cause mortality. Grip strength is actually a better predictor of cardiovascular-related mortality, the number one killer in the United States, than high blood pressure, and yet nobody talks about it. And strength is also associated with a 42% lower dementia risk. And yet we think of resistance training as an add-on, as a luxury. It is not. It is a fundamental pillar of aging. It increases muscle mass, muscle strength, and bone mineral density. So fractures are a death sentence. Between 20 to 60% of Americans that have a hip fracture die within a year. And yet resistance training can lower fracture risk by 30 to 40%. This is preventable. We have the information, we have the data, we need to take action. And resistance training, exercise, getting the right foods are the most important things that we can do to prevent disease and make a difference in our country.
And that's what I am hoping will come out of RFK, is that people will realize that it is up to you to take care of your health, not the healthcare industrial complex. And I'm seriously hoping that we come to that rationalization, that we come to that we come to see that that's true. If you are wondering what I keep doing, I keep checking my phone to see if they have decided to release the list. All right. Give me a second. Boom. This is breaking. This is literally just a couple of minutes ago. AG Pam Bondi confirms that Trump's campaign promise to release the Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy lists will be kept. Hell motherfucking yeah. When? Now? How about now? How about just now? If in the time it took you to make that statement, you could have released the goddamn list. Like, it's wild. Like, I saw that this Luna lady, I saw that she basically is like, on a committee about declassifying shit. Here's my fucking honest statement on this. We shouldn't have to ask for anything to be declassified. That's our shit. They're our representatives. They're our employees. We shouldn't have to ask for it. They shouldn't be like, let's have a committee to see about what we're going to release. Fuck that bullshit. Release this shit. We need to cancel the security clearance of the government. Like, we the people need to cancel their security clearance. They don't get to keep secrets from us anymore. Because when they get to keep secrets from us, you know what the fuck happens? They spend hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars. They all of a sudden lose track of trillions of dollars of fucking payments. They make unbelievable accounting errors, like sending trillions of dollars of Medicaid and Medicare overseas that shouldn't have been made. Trillions of fucking dollars. It is very apparent to me, and I hope it is getting more apparent to you, that probably $36 trillion worth of deficit is corruption and fraud. Corruption, fraud, and waste. Think about the last 40 years. We are finding shit that they just did now. There is very likely they've been doing this for a long fucking time. A long fucking time. So we shouldn't have to ask for this shit to be released. As a matter of fact, the government should be able, I am all for, I'm going to write an article making the case for all government employees to have to wear a body cam at all times. Like, you don't get to make business deals in private no more. You don't get to have conversations with fucking world leaders without us goddamn knowing about it. You don't get to have secret fucking meetings and secret fucking votes anymore. The government has lost the trust of the fucking people, period. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who still trust the government, plenty of people that still trust pharma, but we don't, meaning the people that believe like I do. And I don't care if we're 10% only, which we're over 50%, but I don't care if we're fucking 10%. That's enough. If we don't trust the government, they don't get to fucking keep secrets from us. That's what needs to motherfucking change. If I ran for office right now, if I ran for Congress right now, my campaign promise would be that I will always wear a body cam, no matter what. That I would always tell my constituents every word of what was said. I would be able to have the footage. I would hold weekly seminars with my constituents. I would hold a weekly Q&A. Here's what we're about to vote on. Here's what we're about to fucking talk about. How would you guys like me to vote? I want your input because I represent you. I mean, that's the thing. We got fucking Congress people visiting foreign lands. Why, motherfuckers? You're at Congress. You sit your fucking ass back. Why are you going over there? Let the president and vice president go do that shit. Who cares if Senator such and such or Congressman such and such visits Ukraine? If you're a fucking congressperson from Idaho, you should be visiting Idaho. What the fuck? It's not that hard, people. It's not that hard. Not that hard at all. Yeah, Karen Bass was in Ghana. Why? Why did she go? Why? But why was she in Ghana? I mean, it's stupid. And by the way, term limits absolutely need to be fucking done. Term limits should have been put in for Congress a long fucking time ago. A long goddamn time ago. All right, so let's see what else we got going on here. I'm hoping like I said, I'm hoping that all sorts of crazy shit happens. Let's light this bitch on fire. For real. Let's burn the old system right the fuck on down. It looks like Hakeem Jeffries is calling Trump Captain Chaos. Good. Let's have some fucking chaos. Let's have some fucking chaos. Give me 1 second. Oh, I got something I want to show you, motherfuckers. I got something I want to show you guys. Give me 1 second. That's just me. Check this crazy shit the fuck out. What's up, motherfucker?
All right. What's going on?
What's going on? I was letting everybody know that you were getting your hip worked on because we're geriatrics.
Yeah. Dude, I got twisted in a pretzel today, went in the red light bed. I'm good.
Good.
Limber. I'm feeling very limber. How's everybody today? What'd I miss? Oh, I got a little song for you.
Yeah.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Cash Patel is in, baby.
That is amazing.
Ooh.
I was just starting to talk about that.
Oh, what timing?
I just showed how Pam Bondi, the AG, said that they will be releasing the lists. Like now that he's in, they will be releasing the lists.
Oh, so Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff is fucking scared like a motherfucker.
Dude,
I mean,
he needs to watch that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Man.
Did you see the fucking dude that's the Reddit user that's I'm about to play this for you. This is from Lives of TikTok.
Man, they're losing their minds, bro. Oh, this guy, I didn't see the video, but I saw the fat guy. I didn't see anything.
He looks exactly how I would have expected him to look.
I'm not mad at the 1980s Lakers hat, though. I'm not mad at the purple and gold at all.
He looks exactly like it.
He looks very tough.
A lot of
I mean, I'm terrified of him. Terrified.
Content online glorifying the murder of United Health CEO. And I have to say, that's really dangerous. So we have to be conscious about what we post, because people that see Luigi glorified as some sort of folk hero might get the idea to kill Elon Musk. Because the kind of person that's going to think about killing Elon Musk might even be tempted to look up a list of other CEOs. Most of them have their address posted publicly online as they are written off as a business expense. And knowing where they live is dangerous. What if they confront them? What if they're even crazier? What if they have a weapon? I mean, it's not as easy to get a weapon everywhere as it is in, say, Alabama has over a 99% success rate in gun applications. They approve almost everybody. The wait time is often less than 20 minutes. And in the wrong hands, that information could be wildly dangerous for people to have. So we really got to be careful about what we post, because we might consider someone who would take that information a folk hero who would live on famously forever in the hearts and start a revolution of the people who are reminded that there are more of them than there are of the enemies, the ruling class. And we can't have that, can we?
Wow.
So here's the
A lot of
deal.
content online glorifying
Sorry,
the murder
I don't know
of
how that
United.
happened.
There aren't more of you than there are of us, and we showed that in the election. And I think a majority of Americans don't want to see people who are running companies, who are running businesses, get killed because some people don't like the way their businesses are. The bottom line is the insurance agent. Here's insurance, right? Here's how insurance works. They're making a bet that you're not going to get sick. And if you do get sick, that you've paid enough into your premiums where they're still operating on a positive and not a negative. So if everybody got their money's worth on insurance, the businesses would not exist. Now, a single payer tax Medicare, health insurance system, it just won't work because the government has proven itself to be inefficient, as Doge is showing us. So as we have a situation where the government cannot manage things, so we need to go to a system where people pay into insurance as a collective and through a private company, and the company runs a profitable business. But the reason our things cost so much is because a lot of people need to use their insurance a lot. And so the people like me and you who don't need to use our insurance a lot, we're inadvertently funding them by paying high premiums and never using ours. The healthcare CEO, all he's doing is he's running a business. He's looking at books. He's not trying to kill people. He just needs to keep it a profitable business because you need employees, you have shareholders, you have operations, you have buildings, you have lights, you have all that stuff. So the way to make this work is to have open market competition so they can compete for your money. That way, instead of operating on 40% margin, a competitor will go, well, I think we could operate on 30% margin. Then another guy will go, well, I think we could operate on 20% margin. And then they're competing for your business. But as it is, we are too unhealthy of a country to have a single payer healthcare system because people are too sick and people are too medicated. And all of us would end up basically be doing what the government were doing, the private insurance, which would bankrupt the country.
I agree 100%.
That's my fair market, free market approach to it. At the end of the day, someone has to pay for it. And people say, well, the government has to pay for it. And then I ask them, well, who funds the government? And they're like, well, tax the billionaires more. I'm like, that won't cover it. Because you're not looking at billions of dollars, you're looking at trillions of dollars. So if we okay, let's say we tax a couple billionaires, they pay in a couple extra $1 million more to, okay, cool. Oh, but let's say they pay $50 million more. That's not even covering a portion of it. So the best bet is to have a decentralized, privatized health system where you have insurance companies competing for your business. But to think that we can do it as a single payer system is absolutely just lacks all logic and reasoning in how this shit works, in how business works, in how life works. This dude was just a family man who had a job, worked his way up, came from middle-class America, and then this fucking stupid Italian bastard shot him.
Which is wild. You know, like it's, and everybody, it was crazy how they just kind of rallied around him. Where it was like women were like, oh, he's so attractive. Like, it's, you guys are fucking weirdos, you know, like
it's absurd, Alan. It's absurd because people can say the same thing about, you know, I worked my way up from nothing.
Yep.
And they could say that, well, I'm not a billionaire by all means. I'm not close. Like, I'm not even a fucking, I'm not even like a fucking close. Like, I'm not close. Okay.
Yeah.
But people can get mad at me because I might have a nice house. Well, we should kill him because he needs to pay more because he's done this. Well, everybody in America can do what I did. That's the thing. I showed that everyone in America can do what I did. You have a father who's sick. You have a mother who's on drugs. Yeah, you know how I overcame it? I just fucking did. I worked harder than everybody else around me, and here I am. And to this day, I will outwork everyone who criticizes me. Find me a person who complains about my success. I'll find you a person I work at least 3 times harder than.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's the problem, is that you have these entitled little fucking assholes. And you notice it's not the poor people complaining, right? It's not like, it's not the people trying to make it. It's not the people, working their ass off, providing, doing their thing. It's these suburban rich white kids who are protesting, who are traveling to these protests on their parents' dollars to protest their parents. I just don't understand this. So if we have open season on successful people, where do we draw the line at what success is? My whole neighborhood should be shot, right? They're all successful.
Yeah, right.
They're all above the median income in America, well above it. These people, half these people here, in fact, Dave Ramsey did a survey. Is it like 90%, 9 out of 10 millionaires did not start out as millionaires? They came from just middle-class households, and they just figured out a way to outwork. Maybe they had a good idea, like Mark Bell had the slingshot, which was, a bench press invention. Maybe he had an idea, or maybe he worked his way up from the mailroom and became a CEO. There's very few people who are making up the millionaire class who became millionaires. Right. And that's what really upsets me as I look further into this healthcare CEO who got shot. The more it upsets me, because this dude was a family man, came from middle America, and just worked his ass off, got a position, got into healthcare, worked up the ladder, working 12, 15, 20-hour days. Anyone here can do, maybe not as well as him. Anyone watching this, anyone in this world, in this fucking country, in America, whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, Jewish, Protestant, whatever, you can do what this man did. But instead, we choose to yell at the 100 billionaires who, by the way, provide more jobs than you ever fucking will, pay more mortgages than you ever fucking will.
I mean, the thing is, they are totally narrative driven anyway, and most of these people are lemmings. Like that's the thing. Like they convinced, like people like that convinced this Luigi kid that these people need to be taken out. That kid came from a rich family too. That Luigi kid, like he was from a rich family. And it's like when it's wild to me how for years we were talking about how violent the right is and the violent rhetoric and all like that. These people do violent shit and are like advocating for killing other enemies. It's wild that they do this because frankly, we'd kick your motherfucking asses. Like if it was like a civil war right now, it would be over in a few fucking days. Most of you guys, all we would have to do, like we would shut down the supply line of fucking SSRIs and of like your fucking puberty blockers. And you guys would be crippled in about a week. I mean, it's crazy shit like that. We got people like this Robert Garcia. Did you hear about this guy? This guy basically threatening Elon Musk.
Is he he's a congressman?
He's a congressman. Notice how he's a congressman with it. He's got the LGBT flag in his bio. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Nobody's surprised. So he says, so if you criticize Elon Musk, Trump's DOJ will send you this letter. Members of Congress must have the right to forcibly oppose the Trump administration. I will not be silenced. And the letter reads, Dear Representative Garcia, as United States Attorney of the District of Columbia, I received requests for information and clarification. I take these requests seriously and act on them with letters like this one that you're receiving. At this time, I respectfully request that you clarify your comments from February 12th, 2025 during a live interview on CNN. When you asked how Democrats can stop Elon Musk, you spoke clearly. What the American public wants is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy.
Yeah, he needs to clarify that. That's incitement. Like that is not protected by the First Amendment. So I mean, this little fucking panty waist motherfucker right here, he can yell all he wants on Twitter. At the end of the day, if you're violating a law, you are not above the law, and that's what he kept saying about Trump. You're not above the law. You're not above the law, motherfucker. We said this, Alan. We said this, and we meant it. We warned the Democrats, and I'm sure they all watched this program. We warned the Democrats not to do what they were doing because Republicans, like, dude, Trump could have jailed Hillary. right? He had plenty of grounds with the emails and everything, but he said, hey, I do not want to set that precedent. But then Biden comes in and they literally try to throw Trump in jail. And now he's a felon. They turned misdemeanors, which were past their statute of limitations, into an unnamed felony. And now they're mad because Trump's like, my turn, bitches. Like, and he's not even going beyond. What they did to Trump was fabricating shit, making laws that don't exist, turning misdemeanors that were past their statute of limitations, where there were no victims, everyone got their money, everybody was happy, into a felony that they never clarified what the felony was. And now they're mad because Trump's people are like, you probably shouldn't tell people to use weapons. Literally tell people to use weapons. And you know what? I invite it. I'm like, you know what? Stop talking. Let's fucking go. If you want to bring out the full might of the U.S. military and the U.S. citizenry who will back the military, by all means, put on your fucking pink hair, come out with your fucking fake tits and your beards, and let's go. Let's do it. Let's fucking go. Because, I mean, look, it's a fucking, look, we were just talking about this today, man. It's like we can actually say now what we fucking think. There's no more hiding it. It's like, no, I voted for Trump. Right. You're a Nazi. It's like, yep, I'm a Nazi. Yep, you got it. You're a racist. Yep, I'm a racist. Yep. What the fuck are you going to do about it? Like that bitch yesterday, like they watered down those words, Nazi. That's the one that pissed me off, because we really shouldn't be watering down that word. Like racist, whatever. A racist is just a term. A Nazi was literally a person who genocided people, and not just Jews, Catholics, gays, you name it. If you weren't of the Aryan, blue-eyed, fucking perfect race that Hitler saw, like, they didn't like you. Right. So it's just fucking, it's just baffling how they're shocked that this is happening, when everybody knew that once that Pandora's box was open. And now what does Trump have to lose? Let's say he plays by the rules and he doesn't do, or he's playing by the rules right now, but let's say he does the former decorum where he's just like, hey, guess what? Like, we're not going to do that. We're above that. Then, a Democrat's bound to take office later. It's going to happen. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to go right back to prosecuting us. So why not tit for tat? The gloves are off, man. This is no longer a gentleman's war.
I completely 100% agree. Not to mention that, but like, I think that people Trump needed to realize that realistically, they weren't playing by the rules the whole time. Like, once, I think that while he was gone, he realized, oh, they were spying on me the whole fucking time. Like, for fuck's sake, the FBI was spying on Kash Patel, and now Kash Patel is in charge of the fucking FBI. That's glorious. That's absolutely fucking glorious. But and I had said this for a couple of years, and I mean, I this is when I was sounding like the true crazy person out of the two of us, but it's unfixable for a lot of this. It's not fixable. Like there are some people that they just hate the concept of what there are some people that hate the concept of what I view as America so much that they'd rather burn it the fuck down. They don't care about the rules. It's like me and you kept saying that to the one lady that we had, the one guest we had, who was talking about how, like, well, all you got to do is do this, this, this. I'm like, but what if they don't they don't care about the fucking rules, right? When it gets to the point where they don't care about the rules, when one side doesn't care about the rules, both sides need to, you have to meet fire with fire, right? The time of people that want freedom and a constitutional republic, the time for us to have our hands in our pockets, that shit's over, because they've tried every fucking thing they could. Yep. They've already labeled people as essential and non-essential. They literally tried to destroy the economy. They used a code as an excuse to literally try to take the fuck over and rewrite the fabric of our fucking society. It is time we realize that these people are the fucking enemy. If they can change, a lot of them are going to change their mind, but a lot of them will change their mind. But most of these people, they're the fucking enemy. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about being right. They care about winning.
We already have the national divorce has happened. It's happened. Yeah. We just have to live in the same fucking house now, right? It's like we're co-parenting. We're co-parenting right now. We're sleeping in separate bedrooms, but we got to raise the family together. So there is no there is no unity among Americans. We will never have a 9/11 moment again where America comes together. We will never see eye to eye with Democrats because they're no longer a political party, they're a cult. And now that we have been red pilled or black pilled, whichever one you want to say, and even Cernovich is saying the same thing. Cernovich is like, dude, no, like he's going to Eric Weinstein saying, you fucking sackless little bitch. You wishy-washy little fence riding motherfucker. You're not allowed in. And we're going to call you out on everything you fucking do until you vanish into mediocrity.
Yep.
And that's what we need to do. Like these people, now Weinstein did during COVID, he was outspoken against the stuff that was going on. So I do have to give him a little bit of respect there. He was one of the ones who's like, hey guys, I don't know if this is right. But then when it came to Trump, he was so afraid to lose his connections with his, his liberal buddies that he just was like, well, I really can't back Trump. So you're backing Kamala. Well, it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You have no sass.
Shut up.
You have no balls. You are spineless. Stand up for something. Like stand up for America. Everything you've been complaining about happening, you literally were a part of. And that's why Nick Fuentes, you know what? Before I'm like, well, fuck that guy. He was literally getting people to not vote for Trump. Nick Fuentes, fuck you. You're not allowed. You're not here. You're a fucking idiot. Yeah. You're a fucking small. You don't fucking lift. You have a fucking weird pedo mustache. You're just a rage baiter. That's all you are. And unfortunately, some of my good friends are good with him. And I'm like, what's wrong with you people? Like Elijah, I don't understand it. I'm like, this guy isn't good, right? Like, but I understand. People say that when I hang out with Elijah. So I understand loyalty, whatever. But this guy is such a toxic piece of shit who, when we needed that unity the most, he was like, oh, don't vote for Trump. He literally ran on, no, Groypers, don't vote for him. First of all, if you're a Groyper, you're a fucking idiot. Second of all, if that's the guy you're listening to on how to conduct your life, you're a fucking idiot. But Nick Fuentes, he can go eat 20 dicks and he's going to enjoy it. All right. Nick Fuentes, when we needed unity among everybody who was anti-Democrat, not necessarily conservative, not necessarily Republican, not necessarily quasi-libertarian, but we needed to come together just to defeat the people who have been literally going after him. Like apparently he got let free because he's not a Fed. But when we all had to come together for a last ditch effort to save the country, Nick Fuentes said, no, don't vote for Trump. So for that, fuck that guy. There's no redemption from that. If you were against Trump this election, there's no redemption.
Oh, no, none. I mean, that's the thing.
Unless you're a Democrat who got red pilled. That's where
Yeah. And I mean, here's my thing. Like, it's not like I want anything bad to happen to any of these people, but it's time for you motherfuckers to shut the fuck up. Like, you really do. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I won't do it. Like, if somebody said, like, if somebody was like the unvaccinated are a problem, or get vaccinated, you dopes, anything like that, I got nothing for you. I really don't. Like, it's one thing if you want to take the experimental therapy on your own and everything like that. That's one thing. But to think that I was somehow wrong for not taking it, I got nothing for you. That crosses a line that I can't go back over, like, at all. I mean, remember the Atlantic did that thing, like, we need pandemic amnesty. Like, I'm not doing it. I did a video on YouTube, and I thought I was going to get deleted for that video because it was talking about the pandemic, and it was years ago when that article came up, and I'm not doing it. I'm not going to forgive and forget. That's a huge problem. I was talking about that before you got here. People forget what happened in 2020, 2021, and 2022. It's like people try to memory hold that shit. Remember, like, I was bringing up how Biden said, like, we're losing our patience with the unvaccinated. Like, bitch, what? Like, Biden threatened the American people with F-16s multiple fucking times. Multiple fucking times.
I'm not forgetting.
Fuck that shit.
No. I'm so over it. Like, I'm tired of, we're bigger than, no, fuck that. Nobody ever won a war by being the bigger person. Nobody ever won that shit. Like,
I wear a shirt regularly to work out in. It says "mean nasty motherfucker" on it. I'm just polite because I'm online right now. Like, let me tell you something. Like, you've met me in person. I'm polite to like Mark, his family, my wife, my son, my very close family knit group. And besides that, I don't give a fuck. You know, like I'm not going to be nice about any goddamn thing. Fuck that shit. There's no reason to be nice. When everybody tried to be nice, that's when they fucking closed the doors on all you motherfuckers. Everybody trying to be nice was how they tried to force you motherfuckers to call some dude with a fucking beard they, because it would hurt his feelings if he didn't say it. They almost made it illegal at one point in time. For fuck's sake, they're trying to be nice. There's laws in certain states right now that if you call a person fat, you can be in trouble for it. Fuck that shit. That pussy ass bullshit. We can't be nice. The world's not nice. I saw Cernovich post something earlier, and it struck me as like, holy fuck, that's so true, and people don't understand it, right? We are declaring war on the cartels, right? On the drug cartels. People need to understand what that means, right? People are about to see, like, if we are not careful, people will not understand what's happening. He posted something about how, you know, a congressperson's child being skinned alive on video it could happen with these people. You know what I mean? Because that's how they are. And that's how not only they are, but that's how a lot of Africa is run. That's how a lot of the Middle East is run. That's how a lot of the world runs. We in America, we don't see that much because we have our heads in the sand, and we think it's not that way. We think everybody's going to be like us and just kind of want to go through the day. No, these people are evil motherfuckers. Evil motherfuckers. We cannot be super nice. Being nice guys finish last is not the actual statement. Nice guys end up dead. I mean, that's the fucking truth. We cannot do this anymore. We cannot pretend like this isn't a serious thing. When he posted that, I sat and thought about that for a solid 30 minutes. For me, that's a long time to think about any one particular fucking thing. You know, but it's so true. Like, I mean, that's what's probably going to happen. I should be able to find it someplace.
I don't think people understand. Like, America's so great. That's why people are like, America. No, America's the greatest country in the world. I was reading this Facebook post about there's this one town in Switzerland that's like paying people 20,000 of whatever their dollar's called to just live there because they have declining population, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, okay, that's fair, but you have to live there for 10 years and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like that. And then the comments were all like, well, America, we can't afford it now because America's bad. America's bad. I'm like, then fucking leave, dude. America is fucking great. Like, I wouldn't have said that in, you know, October. I was kind of like, well, shit, I might have to leave. You know, now I'm like, dude, like, America is so good. America is such a good place where you don't have to worry about Congress people's kids getting skinned alive yet, but we've let these elements into this country. And that's the thing. Yep. Like, Trump isn't, while he's doing a lot of right things, he's not a magician. He can't erase the fact that we had, you know, 10 plus million unvetted people cross the border. Yeah. And libertarians are still arguing for open borders due to personal sovereignty. My buddy did, the guy whose podcast I was on. I'm like, am I even having this conversation? And he's like, well, you know, we believe in personal sovereignty. I'm like, this is why the libertarians are a fucking joke. Yeah. I mean, it's a joke. I found that conversation. It started with Jesse Kelly, your friend Jesse. Yeah. So, but he says, I think the average American is greatly underestimating what it will take to take out the cartels, quote unquote. This will not be a Sicario 2. This will be Vietnam. Not saying it's wrong to try, but don't blow that off as some tiny thing. And this person says, have you not watched any footage of drone strikes in the Ukraine, Russia? It's a whole new world. Anything that happens in the past is very old ways and means if we wanted to wipe out the cartels tonight, we could, and it would be swift and precise. All their guns mean nothing. So Jesse then says, this is the idiocy I'm trying to head off now. Mark my words, the cartels will not go down easy if they can even be taken out at all. This is not a movie. It will take much more than a drone strike. Gird your loins. And this is Cernovich.
Who is ready to see the Telegram videos of a Congress member's kid being skinned alive? Because that's what the cartels will do. It's childish to think that this would be a conventional war. Doesn't mean don't do it, but let's know the risks and save the bravado for a fishing trip. I thought that was just I thought it was very well spoken, like extremely well spoken and necessary. Because you know, I mean, dude, me and you have been so frank with each other for the last 5 years. You know how I've thought about this. We're already at war. Like, people don't understand it. There is already an entity that has been trying to enslave us. They want chaos. They perfectly are happy with us being completely, like, when you think about how closely knit the government, big food, big pharma, the military industrial complex work, it is this big machine and we are just the fodder, right? People need to take this shit much more seriously. Like, these people, you people all in your goddamn fucking feelings because you don't like Orange Man. Shut the fuck up. They're upset that they're upset that people in the government are losing their job. I'm sorry, but did you think we should let people keep their jobs when it's clear that it's just wasteful? Like, it's not.
Well, people. So here's this other thing. People lose jobs, all the time. Companies fire, they let people go, they lay people off, people find new jobs. But there's this thought in Americans' minds that if you work for the government, you should never be fired. You should never be at risk for losing your job. That's why the government job is so coveted, because you could work there for 100 years, not ever do anything right, and they will never let you go. And that's why government is so shit, because the employees aren't motivated to work hard. Why would they?
Right.
They don't get incentive to work hard, and they also don't get punished for not working hard. So why wouldn't they just scoot by, do as little work as possible? Like the work from home. They had one woman who's like, "Oh, I just lost my dream job at blah, blah, blah in the government." And then they found an old tweet like, "Oh, well, I'm working from home. I just found out I have a call. I guess I put on a hoodie. I was in my pajamas." It's like, huh? Like, people actually work and they dress and they work their ass off. You're over there fucking drinking cocoa, watching Netflix in your pajamas, and you're mad because you have to slip on a hoodie, and you're dumb enough to tweet that during the workday.
That's wild shit.
That's like people who make $20,000 a year yet live in a mansion and have a Rolls Royce. It's like, dude. They look at this shit like, or like claiming disability and posting Instagrams of yourself deadlifting 500 pounds. It's like, it's the same mindset.
A lot. Yeah.
How the fuck did you think it's a good idea to tweet during work hours that you're mad that you have to work and you have to put a hoodie over your jammies? Because they thought they were untouchable. It's a government job. It's a government. And my dad worked in the government. Like, my dad actually worked, he actually did do his job, but like, dude, he had employees who didn't do shit. And I'm like, dude, why don't you fire them? He's like, I can't fire them. I just can't.
The government.
I'm like, why? And now I understand why.
So here's one I thought we would also take a look at, just bouncing from topic to topic basically today. But add to stage, this is RFK Jr. Merck went back to the agencies and said, "You told us to develop the hepatitis B vaccine. Nobody's buying it." And the CDC said, "Don't worry, we'll just recommend it for children. We'll force everybody to buy it." That's how it got on the schedule.
Holy shit.
Here's my thing. These companies can't stay in existence, right? Like, if you own a vaccine company and you make a product that you would not make without having a liability shield, you shouldn't be in existence anyway. You know what I mean? Like, because that means that it is not as safe as it is being portrayed, and you don't care. And none of these companies are based in America. These are all foreign. Like, Pfizer could be seen as a foreign entity, basically, and I just think it's fucking crazy that people are pushing back against this guy. Like on TikTok, he gets the most pushback, if you ask me. They're talking about like this guy who is a heroin addict, who is this, who is that. Yeah, but you know, the same thing is, so you're going to judge him on his past, fine. But what is he saying right motherfucking now? You know, we have to like get there. And honestly, nobody else would have. If it was not for RFK right now, none of this would be even being spoken about. It really wouldn't be, because it would have been just business as usual. The healthcare industrial complex keeps fucking making us sick, you know, and keeping us sick so they can make money on us. That's how it would have been. But instead, we have somebody that's going to stand up for it. So if he's wrong, I challenge, and here's why 2020 can't be forgotten, because people have gotten so motherfucking used to just being able to say, well, that's bullshit. Prove him wrong. Find the studies, have the debates, meet and come on evening rants, and we can debate about it. Bring your studies, I'll bring mine. We can debate about it. Anything you want about healthcare, we can fucking do it. Give me a day to research and I'll fucking bash you any fucking way I can. Like, seriously, give me just a day to research. But let's have the debates. Don't just say, well, RFK doesn't know what he's talking about. How?
Well, they're saying he's going to bring back. So I was having this, a guy came by to fix our security today, right? And we were having this, I was just telling him, like, it's, when I was a kid, I believe we had like 4 or 5 total vaccinations. Now I think it's in the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absurd. Yet, here's my question, Alan. Those 68 other shots they're getting that I didn't get, why have I not gotten those diseases?
Right. Very good fucking question, dude.
I mean,
very good question.
I'm not vaccinated for any of that shit, and I have none of it. Chicken pox I got. I was itchy for a couple days, and then I couldn't get them again. You know, it's one of those things where, oh, we need these vaccines. Well, what about the folks who never had them? Do they need them? Oh, no, they're good. But if it's that bad where we need vaccines, why aren't you forcing me to get it now? But yet we're putting them all in the baby within the first, like we're giving 40 shots in the first year. Like, have we thought this through? And has anybody asked why I don't have those diseases?
That's such a good fucking question.
It's wild. Why don't they force us to, why don't they have, hey, Mark, we go to our doctor. Hey, guess what, dude? When you were born, you only had 6 vaccines. Crazy. Yeah. That's not enough. So that means there's another 68 that we need you to get over the next year. Or else you're going to get all these diseases that we found that the babies are getting now. And you would think that since I'm older, my immune system isn't as good as a baby or as a child. So why would I not get those vaccines, yet we're vaccinating the children with? I'm not saying, look, man, I'm sure there's some vaccines on that list, like maybe the ones we got, right? Like polio, maybe, etc. Cool. Yeah, that's great. I haven't had polio. I'm pretty happy with that. But what about the other 70? Like, well, what about those? Like, why don't I feel like I am in danger because I'm not getting all the vaccines that the babies are getting?
So listen to this, dude. Listen to this. Without a strict age cutoff, lifetime, quote unquote, is ambiguous. For a child born now, reaching age 80, circa 2,105, assuming a minimal adult boosters, e.g. tuberculosis every 10 years, no annual COVID boosters beyond childhood, the total could be approximately 55 to age 18, plus 6 to 8 TD boosters, so around 61 to 68 doses. Including annual flu shots to age 80 adds 62 more, bringing it to 123 to 125 doses. If COVID boosters become annual, the total could exceed 185 doses for a child born now that would live to 80. And I don't know how the fuck a child would live to 80 years old receiving 185 fucking doses of vaccines. But just to 18, it's like 63 to 70 some doses.
Wow.
Like, what the fuck? And what a good point, dude. I'd never thought about that before. It's one of the reasons why I love it when we talk. But like, why haven't we gotten these things? Like, I think I got a bunch of shit when I was in the military, so I don't even know what the fuck all they gave me, to be honest. So
They just put you in a line.
So fucked up.
Yep.
They used to do the guns. I don't know if they still do that or not, but like you just walk through the line and it's like, especially when you got like I did a med pack. Basically, I was in the Mediterranean Sea, and they just fucking inject you with every goddamn thing.
I was going to go to Liberia. I was going to go to Liberia one year for a mission with one of my buddies. And
91
was this? What's up?
1991.
Oh no, Liberia? Hell no, not then. That's when they were killing and eating each other, right?
Yeah.
No, it was 2015, and my wife's like, nah, you ain't got. But I literally looked up. I had to go to Naperville because I lived in Elgin. It's about 45 minutes, and they had a place that did all the Africa injections, and I'm like, holy shit! All right, whatever, no big deal. I didn't back then. Vaccine was a white word, meaning that you had no negative connotation in your head. You thought safe, you thought necessary, and I never questioned it up until 20, and I still don't. What I question with the childhood vaccine schedule is the proximity to which they get them, and why there's 68 more than when I was a kid, and why I don't have those diseases. But I actually am not. I'm not saying this just to fucking. Oh no! Well, I'm not anti-vax. No, I'm not anti. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to like be fucking politically correct. I do believe there are some applications, absolutely, but I do want someone to explain why we don't spread them out a little more and why there's so many. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. I don't ask for much more, and why I'm not getting the vaccines that babies are getting if these are communicable diseases. I think that's a simple question. And then there's no answer for it other than, well, you probably, I don't know. That nobody. I want a virologist. If anybody wants to come on who knows anything about this shit and can explain it to me, why are we giving kids vaccines that I don't get if it's a disease that we're all susceptible to?
Such a good fucking question. It really, really, really is.
It just came out of my mouth today when I was talking to this guy. Like, I was like, oh man, I've never thought of it that way. You know, my ADHD was spewing all kinds of shit today. I'm like, well, what? And I was just like thinking out loud, and this guy's probably like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? And I'm like, listen, man, they get like 70 plus vaccines, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, why don't we get them? He's like, oh shit. That's what it was like. Two dudes. It was a conversation you usually have while smoking a bong together, you know, but it was just
that.
Because you ever see those movies where it's just like, yeah, man. So like, yeah, like the cheese on the moon. You've seen those movies, right? Like that was the conversation, but we were just standing there like,
I frankly, me and you grew up very different. I've lived those movies. But it's very, I was just wondering how you knew. So
I know because I saw movies like Half Baked.
Okay. Half Baked is good. How High?
That's all I need.
How High was an amazing movie. With Redman and Method Man.
Yeah, I didn't see that movie.
The thing is about How High, because it's an old movie, but How High is an awesome movie only if you're high. Like if you're not high, you're just like, what the fuck is this? But when you're high, it's like they filmed it for it. And I don't smoke weed anymore, people, but I mean occasionally, rarely, Christmas. Anyway, but only legal. But it's done that way. But anyway. My ADHD took me a whole different place.
Well, I think we need to find somebody. I almost want to put a tweet out like somebody could come on this show. I don't care if they have a following or not, you know, and just explain to me why we aren't as adults getting the full vaccine schedule. Like when they add something to the childhood vaccine, why aren't our doctors given a notice? Like, hey guys, we figured out a way to cure this shit that's killing everybody. And we need your patients, everyone, up to 50 or 80 or whatever, to get this because it's fucking bad. Like this shit's going to fuck everybody up. But I've never heard anybody ask this question this way. I just haven't. I think I might be onto something.
I think you are onto something. Make sure you post that here when we get off.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I just
Yeah,
I
dude.
want to learn more. That's the problem. Like Joe Rogan gets in trouble for that shit. Is that he gets in trouble for asking questions and having conversations, right? Like, oh, you platformed this guy. He's like, I thought he was interesting. I just wanted to hear what he had to say. And being that he's not
Right.
well, that's another thing. Like I have on my my fitness podcast, I have a guy coming on in a week who's a seed oil. He's the guy who created the whole like no seed oil certification for products and stuff. And so he's anti-seed oil, and I'm not going to go on there and debate him. The most thing I'm going to do is, hey, based on the data set we have of peer-reviewed trials and of meta-analyses, if you're going to draw an impartial, objective conclusion, you would say that seed oils are overall beneficial to health, not negative to health.
Mhm. Right.
And I'm sure he wants this question because he has an answer. I'm sure he's the guy. And I'm going to be like, how would you respond to that? But I'm not going to be sitting here Piers Morgan style, just arguing with people. No one will come on the fucking podcast. Like if Joe Rogan just went and shit on everybody, no one would go on there.
Right. Well, not only that, but like, just like, here's the thing. We either need to talk or fight. Like, I mean, like we either need to talk our shit through or we need to fucking just get the fucking fighting. Because
they want to fight.
What's going on now is not working for anybody, frankly. And it's at some point in time, it's going to kick off. And I just don't, I hope we can talk it out. I really do. It doesn't mean I can forgive half the shit that happened in 2021 and 2022, but we need to talk some shit out. Like, okay, you guys think that like I shouldn't have my freedom because I refuse to take an experimental gene therapy. But just so you understand that I'm going to keep my freedom, and if you try to take it from me, you're going to die. And as long as we're like, okay, we're good. And now, like I'm assuming that because they're mostly afraid of a cold, that they're not going to choose the option to try to take it from me. But anyway, so
yeah, it's
just my thoughts.
But they don't want to get along. They want to smash things. Right? Like look at what they did during the BLM riots and the all the like the cult, their only action is violence. They do not, because they don't have an argument. If once you start really digging in, I can't do this on Twitter. Like Cernovich can go in, like I'm just like, and then I'm like, you know what? This is going nowhere. You're retarded. I'm going to mute you and you keep talking. That's usually what I do because but if we're talking here, I'll be like we did with that guy who ended up going off the rails and threatening you, Mr. Gaines.
So the audience didn't get to see the fucking text messages though. We have an episode we have an episode where this guy he like kind of came at you first, and then we invited him on. And when he's on, he's like basically running through New York City, like on like fucking Apple iPods, and fucking running through New York City.
But he had the corded ones. He had the corded ones.
Yeah, he had the corded ones.
And ambulances driving by and fucking.
It was so bizarre. So we don't hear from him for a while, and then like randomly out of fucking no place, like months later, he's like, "And fuck you, Alan Roberts, you fucking piece of shit." And I'm like. Because we have a group text going on. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like,
I forgot who he was.
Yeah,
I had to
I was like, that's awfully random.
And think about it. But if I recall when he said, "Fuck you, Alan Roberts, you fucking piece of shit," I wrote, "I agree."
I agree. I mean, like, I'm not a nice guy. I know that shit. But I mean, like, he just went off, and I'm like. And of course, like here's the thing: what people need to understand about people like me and you, you can say whatever you want. I'm not really gonna get pissed because I'm just gonna be like, whatever,
Well, I was trolling. I'm like, whatever you think, I agree.
Yeah, I was like, are you drunk? Are you drunk? Like what happened? Yeah, I'd fucking kick your ass. Like, oh, dude, like stop it. Like you're weak. You haven't done this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I mean, like. Out of no place, and then like he would like wait, like let me back on. Like we'll debate. I'm like, what? There's not going to be a debate. You just want to come on and call me a fuckhead. Like I was like, I'll call myself that for you. I don't give a shit. We
would have had him on, but he was telling us to have him on. And we're like,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to do what you tell us to do. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
It's our show. It's like me calling Joe
Right.
Rogan and be like, let me on, asshole. You bald motherfucker. Let me on your show.
You fucking stupid fuck, let me on.
Joe Rogan would be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, shut the
Which, by
fuck
the way,
up,
Joe-
Royd boy.
Which, by the way, Joe, I'd love to come on your show. Just saying.
Oh, God. Yeah. I would literally miss almost anything for that. Almost.
Yeah,
Not everything, but
yeah.
like State tomorrow. No, I'm missing Preston State in a week. I'm missing it because I have to go to the
'cause
Arnold.
You have to go to the Arnold. That's right.
Yeah, but it's fine. He's 12, right? Like high school State, different. Like I had to cancel a meeting tomorrow because honestly, I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect him to make it. But since he did, I'm like, I got to cancel some meetings. Well,
Shit.
I mean, it was, bro, like, it was he in the match of the century, the shock of the century, like beating a 2-time state placer for the blood round. It was like nobody, like Johnny, the head coach for Nolansville, we coached the team. He tells my wife, he goes, well, that wasn't on my bingo card. And then I'm talking to their other coach, Bob. Bob's like, bingo card? That wasn't on my wish list. That wasn't on any, that wasn't even in my thought process. And I'm like, well, thanks for the vote of confidence. So
right, guys.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
gonna be,
So that's Thomas then, right? That's Thomas tomorrow, right?
Thomas is tomorrow. And don't care. I don't care if he loses every fucking match. Our goal was to make it to state. He made it. I just need to get him eating because here's the thing. He was like, I'm talking 5% body fat at the beginning of the season. He lost 5 pounds because he dropped down a weight class and grew 4 inches. So his strength has gone down. He's literally in beyond, like he's the leanest person. This is the leanest I've ever seen anyone maintain. And I am literally known for being lean. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone maintain leanness for 12 weeks like he has and still function. So wrestlers are different.
He's going to get you start feeding him. He's going to get that. His endocrine system's going to kick in. His T levels are going to fucking skyrocket. He's going to be fucking.
Like I said, he's going to do exactly the opposite of what we tell people to do. You know, I'm like, whatever food you want to eat. I don't care if it's fried. I don't care if it's a cookie. Like we need to get you, we need to add 15 pounds immediately. I don't care what that 15 pounds is.
Yeah, at all.
It's like, just go, just go, just have fun. Cause he'll honestly with his appetite, he'll be tired and his appetite, his metabolism, he'll get sick of eating after a day and a half. He'll be like, this is fucking terrible.
He'll get sick of anyway.
So we are back on Monday.
Yeah. Either Monday, one day next week, we're going to have Buck Angel on as a guest.
I missed the last time.
I haven't had Buck on yet. He's somebody that I've wanted to have on. I missed
that athlete. What was his name?
Yeah. Nisa Powers. Yeah, Nisa Powers.
Yes, I missed that one.
Right. We haven't have her on.
I'm in Monday and Tuesday, and I'm out. Actually, I'm in Monday. I'm out the rest of the week for the Arnold. So
that's right. Have fun.
Yeah.
Better you than me.
Yeah. I'm just going to mainline.
I'll ask you questions offline about it. So
I'll mainline mental jewels and just take a lot of hand sanitizer is what I'm going to do.
Yep. Oh yeah, because anyway. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And by the way, go to ambrosiacollective.com and get yourselves the Holy Trinity Weight Loss Bundle. It is Ember, No Morbidity, and Alchemy. It will help you not be hungry at all. I personally take it every single day. It has helped me be 4 years, 1 month, and 3 days, no binge at all. And I have binge eating disorder as of today, and I have no food noise. I don't even have physical hunger. And we also sell a product there called Hydroglyph, and here is an amazing dude to tell you about.
Are you currently taking LMNT for your electrolytes? That's great. Electrolytes are very important, especially for athletes. The problem is I think they took it a little too far. 1,000 milligrams of sodium per packet. That's great if you're an endurance athlete running in high temperatures, 100 plus. But if you're not perspiring that much, if you're not doing that much activity, if you're simply exercising, well, normally, it's a lot. You're looking at intake, you take a few packets, 10,000 milligrams of sodium a day. So what I like to do is I like to flavor all my water with electrolytes, because electrolytes are vitally important for you to intake. Now, what do? I take Ambrosia Hydroglyph. So Ambrosia Hydroglyph, available in stick packs as well as bags. Now, it's beyond sodium, potassium, magnesium. It has other things that'll help your body keep muscle and perform better. It has the essential amino acids. It has your branched chain amino acids. It has Velocitol, which doubles the power of those amino acids. It even has my HMB. So if you're really training hard, it staves off muscle loss. If you're looking for something well beyond the current electrolyte you're taking, something that won't overdo it, but give you everything needed to perform at your best and be as healthy as possible, Ambrosia Hydroglyph is your choice.